It's a little bit the opposite of all the positive vibes only, like toxic positivity. Yoga is really not that, or has the opportunity not to be. I won't speak about what capital Y yoga is, but in this class, it's literally about practicing being in those uncomfortable, unsteady, even negative, agitated, analytical mindsets, and practicing just becoming aware and mindful of it in a way that you can keep going and trying again, resetting and beginning again. Lucy, do you want to come say hi? Instead of licking your paws in the background? Come here. So it's all about resetting and beginning again. And if everything's positive and you're always in a good mood and you're always happy, then what is there to even reset? Say hi, babe. Thank you. Even Lucy's not in a perfectly happy mood all the time. Right, Lucy? You get agitated. You growl at the neighbor's dogs, even though they've done nothing to you. I love this dog, guys. So that is what we are noticing. It's not a failure when we notice that we're frustrated or we are unsteady or agitated or anything. It's a win when we notice, because that's what this practice is all about. Noticing. Not deciding good or bad, oh it's getting better, oh it's getting worse. Great, not great, whatever. It's not about good or bad labels. It's just about even noticing in the first place, like, oh, that was irritating to me. Oh, that was triggering to me or agitating. It's just about noticing and continuing anyway. It doesn't have to be with a strong face. It doesn't have to be with like some fake positivity. Nobody can see your face here on the yoga mat. You can be upset moving through chaturangas and downward facing dogs. It's alright. Don't have to smile through it, which is often what we're all taught in the rest of our lives. When we're set to smile through it, here you kind of get to shake it out, yell a little bit, just process it in a different way, maybe a way that isn't appropriate the rest of your time, right? I said I was going to take the chat. Oops. Oh, I don't know how to, So we're going to get started here in just about a moment. Just about a minute, I should say. As always in class, everything that I say is an invitation. Don't feel any sort of pressure for any of the poses or breath work to look a certain type of way. Do what's best for your body. You know what's best for your body, or you're learning, so we're experimenting, and you can press forward and pull back as appropriate. It's not a dance routine. Go at your own breath pace. You're building a connection with your own breath here. It's not about my pace, my body shape, like none of that stuff. I'm doing the best I can to cue you through transitions and postures safely. So to the best of your ability, follow my words, but don't get hung up like you're doing it wrong if you're amending and adjusting. Right? So we'll start as always with a grounding meditation, then about 60 minutes of movement, and a nice long Savasana at the end. A final relaxation, final meditation pose. And I'll lead you through that as well. Some Tibetan singing bowls. Alright, let's get started. So, coming to a comfortable seated position on your dog. Hands come to rest on the knees, either palms down to ground down, or palms up to give and receive energy. Got a little extra to give today. Chest comes up over the hips, head over heart. We'll start with 3 cleansing breaths, but first you can close your eyes. And if that's not comfortable for you, it's all good. Just lower your eyes to a soft gaze at the ground in front of you. That's not what I wanted to do. At the ground in front of you without a stare, just a soft gaze. So 3 cleansing breaths in through the nose, shoulders rise up towards the ears, and out through the mouth, an audible sigh. And allow the breathing to continue in and out just through the nose if that's available. Returning to a natural pace. And we'll just take a moment here to arrive. Let go of everything that came before and everything that's to come up after. And just become present to yourself here in this moment, here in this space. And beginning to allow sounds into your awareness. Perhaps passing traffic outside. Maybe the sound of songbirds. Whatever it may be, let it in, invite it in, all part of this moment, this experience. Notice the temperature of the air on your skin. And feel the weight where your body makes contact with the ground below you. Weight of your hands on your knees. And begin to scan your body from head down towards toes. Anamaya kosha. Scanning the body like an X-ray machine for any places of tightness or sensitivity. Any restlessness or fidgeting. And using that information to work into the spaces that call out to you for your attention throughout our movement practice today. Shifting the awareness to your energetic body, pranamaya kosha, scale of 1 to 10. 1 being exhausted, fatigued, ready to go back to bed. 10 being so full of energy it's hard to sit still. Where do you fall on that scale in this very moment? And shifting the awareness to the breath. No need to change it, just observe inhalations and exhalations, and whatever space in between. Looking for how deep or how shallow, symmetrical or uneven. And we shift it, the awareness, up to Manomaya Kosha, the mind. Allowing thoughts and feelings to arise and observing them from a distance. Without engaging, allow them to pass by like clouds in the sky, like an image being projected onto the wall. Notice, what are the quality of the thoughts today? Do they have a positive or a negative tilt to them? Are they holding on to the past or attempting to predict the future? Not good or bad, not right or wrong. Just notice. And bring the attention back down to the breath. This time actively expanding the inhalation to fill the belly like a balloon. And exhales, drop belly button in towards spine. Breathing in and out through the nose if that's available. Belly expands like a balloon on the inhale. And exhale, releases belly button in towards spine. Inhale, fills belly and ribs. Exhale, releases ribs and belly. Inhale, filling belly, ribs and chest. Exhale, releases chest, ribs, belly. Continuing like this, inhaling from bottom to top. Exhaling top to bottom. At your own breath's pace. Allow space between top and bottom teeth, no clenching in the jaw. Whole body is relaxed. And all the effort is in making the breath deeper, longer, slower. This Dirga Pranayam 3-part breath helps us build a relationship with our breath. We can use the breath to help bring us out of a fight or flight sympathetic nervous system mode into a parasympathetic mode of rest and digest. Or it can even be used to just de-escalate. any feelings of anxiety or irritation during our day. It won't solve our problems or fix our arguments, but it can help us get to a clearer mind to make the decisions and take the actions necessary to move forward. Your next exhale, release any effort from the breath, just returning to a normal breathing pattern. Perhaps now deeper and slower than before we started our pranayama, our breathing practice. We'll bring our hands to meet at heart center, palms pressed together in Anjali Mudra. Consider here setting an intention or a dedication for your practice today. And we'll set that intention with the sound of Om. Taking a cleansing breath first. Allow the hands to drop down to the lap, chin drops towards chest. And inhale, right ear rolls over towards right shoulder. Exhaling, chin to chest. And left ear towards left shoulder. So allowing the head to roll side to side. Just like that, eyes can stay closed. Hello, good morning. Om Mani Padme Hum. Hello, hello. So, just opening the space between ears and shoulders here. And the next time the head rolls through center, bringing it up to neutral, begin to roll the shoulders forward. Large or small, fast or slow, do what works for you. Roll the shoulders back. Nice. And coming to stillness in the shoulders. So if you're seated, cross-legged, or even on a chair, this will still kind of work. Put your hands on your knees. And bring the chest forward to the right, like 3 o'clock. Back, like 6 o'clock. Imagine like an analog clock. Left to 9, and then back to 12. So we're just going to smooth that out. It's almost like your top half of your body is a spoon, and bottom half body is a cup, or just stirring around the edge. Beginning to work into the hips a bit. You might feel it in the chest as you press forward or round back. You let that kind of spiral out and get a little bigger as the spine begins to warm up. And then change directions. Nice. We're working quite a bit into the hips today. Let that spiral become smaller and smaller until we're back up to center. Arms sweep up on the inhale. And exhale, we'll take a bend over to the right. Left arm reaches over. Inhale up through center. And exhale over to the left. So I'm following the breath here. In to rise, out to bend. Once more to each side. And bring it back up to the middle and take a high twist to the right. Left hand landing on the knee, right hand landing on the ground, close to your lower back. Look over, opening the chest towards side wall. Inhale back up through center. Exhale to the left. So it's not the deepest bend or twist ever. We're just bringing some movement into the body. Inhale up through center. And exhale to twist. We're just waking our body up to that twisting motion. We've got one more to each side. Back to center. We'll release the arms down, bend at the elbows, wave out the hands. Play piano. And toss pizza, so my hands are pressing as far back as they can here, fingers spread wide. We're in full range of motion from left to right, or I guess clockwise, counterclockwise. It should feel uncomfortable, so you know you're pressing back hard enough. Here, shake off water. 3, 2, 1. Extend the legs out in front. Spread and scrunch the toes. Roll out your ankles. Change directions. Right, then bend in the knees. Bring them nice and wide. Drop the knees side to side. Feet are far enough apart that the knees don't land on top of the other foot. Both knees land towards the floor. And the next time the knees fall over to the right, you can fall all the way. It's called stag with the zigzag in the legs. Hands come to frame that front right knee. On the inhale, we'll do this a little differently if you've done this in the past with me. I'm going to change it up just a little. Inhale, pulls the shoulders back, nice and tall, proud pigeon. The exhale, we're going to lower down belly, chest, head. So it's like I'm trying to go as far as I can towards that wall, but since my hips are grounded on the floor, I have to begin to lower down. But still, it's more about length. Then rolling back up like through cat pose, back up to that starting point. Inhaling here, or on the way up, and exhaling, lowering down. Belly, chest, head. Roll it back up. So I'm just like light on my fingertips here. Elbows can bend on my lower down. The focus is on the spine and the breath. And then this next time, lower belly, chest, head. Come to land on top of stacked fists, a block, your hands, your head can even lay down on the ground over this right bent knee. And we're just breathing here. Let all effort go from the body. Just breathing into this right glute, hip, leg, wherever you might feel this stretch. One more deep breath here. Then we press our hands into the ground, coming back upright. Right hand comes onto the ground behind your back, close to that right hip. Left arm sweeps open. On the inhale, and exhale, cross the arm in front of the body, reaching back behind you for a twist. Inhale, it brings you forward as the arm raises, the hips rise up, lifting belly and chest. Exhaling, hips touch down to twist. Inhale, sweeping forward and rise. Exhale, touching down to twist. We just got one more like that. Inhale, lift and rise. Exhale, hips touch down to twist. Bring it back through center. Knees fall over to the left, making sure that the legs aren't stacked. Instead, we're in that stag pose, that like zigzag. Hands come to rest, framing the left knee. Inhaling pulls the shoulders back. Exhale releases you belly, chest, head, trying to get as far forward as possible for length. And then roll it all the way back up. Following your breath out to lower. In to rise. And the next time you lower belly, chest, head, allow the head to come down and rest. Stacked fists on hands, on the ground, on a block. Wherever works for you. So you don't feel like you're in a perpetual push-up. So just let the shoulders melt away, the arms relax. Notice if there's any holding in the legs that you could release right now, any effort that you could release right now. And we'll press the hands into the ground. Coming back upright. Left hand comes to the ground, close to the left hip. Right arm sweeps up and forward. Exhale, cross the arm in front of the body, twisting behind you, like you're gonna shake someone's hand behind you. Inhale, it brings you forward. Lift the arm, lift the hips, lift the chest. Exhale, hips touch down to twist. Inhale, coming forward to rise. Exhale, touching down to twist. Once more here. Beautiful. Back through center. We're going to come to hands and knees in tabletop. Hands come below shoulders, knees below hips. We'll release the left forearm to the ground, so from elbow to wrist, it's on the ground, lopsided like this. And then the right knee opens out to the side, like fire hydrant kind of dog with a fire hydrant kind of situation. Then we're just drawing circles with the knee. They can be fast or slow, big or small. It's kind of working into any clicks or cracks or tightness in that right hip. This is my left hip to you guys, isn't it? There we go. Right hip. Change directions. So you might even feel this kind of like affecting your lower back. There shouldn't feel, alright, I shouldn't say shouldn't, but if there's any pinching, that's just like something to notice. It's like, okay, let's not aggravate that. Any clicking or cracking is all good, just kind of working through it. Next time, your knee is up and out to the side, or rather, allow your knee to come back down. We'll press up to tabletop pose. Release onto your right forearm, elbow to wrist, and raise up your left leg. And here we'll just draw circles on this side once again. We're just kind of exploring range of motion, scanning, observing for any pain or tightness. Maybe what you find is some openness or more flexibility than you expected. Change directions. Bring the knees back down to the ground, back up to tabletop pose. Right leg opens up how it did before, and then it's a slow motion side kick. We bring the heel back in towards the glute, and knees come down like tabletop pose. Not quite figured out. Just need to like wear this white yoga pants. So, sorry about that. Right knee opens out to the side. Slow motion side kick. Working towards extending legs. Okay, if the knee doesn't come perfectly straight. Heel comes in towards the glute. And knee lowers down. I'm not even touching the knee onto the ground, I'm just tapping the knee into my left knee. Rise, extend, bend, lower. Rise, extend, bend, lower. And last time we raise this leg, extend it, slow motion touch it down out to the side. Walk the hands all the way back and up for our gate pose. So my bottom leg, I'm in a kneeling position. My right leg is extended out and pressing into the pinky side edge of that foot. Shoulders over hips. Arms sweep up overhead. Forward. And exhale, bend over to the right. This hand's not pressing on the knee. There's like a tendency to do that. It's hard not to. Just bring the hand onto the hip so that you can avoid pressing into the knee at an awkward angle. So we're side bending here. Reaching, reaching, reaching. You might feel a little stretch on this right hip. Full breath here. And then like a cartwheel. Right hand touches down to the ground. Left hand reaching up towards the sky. Flex through the right leg. And we're going to lift that right leg until it's parallel to the ground. And a gentle touch down. Raise it and lower it. So we're really strengthening this side hip, side of the leg. Breathing through this, even through the discomfort. lower. Nice, last one. Bringing it up, we hold here for our breath, pressing through the heel. Bend in the knee, heel comes towards glute, hand releases down to grab the foot, and then pulling the heel in towards the glute, press the hips forward for a quad stretch. So we're stretching this front part by pressing the hips forward and pulling the heel in towards the glute. You can even bring a little resistance by kicking the foot into the hand just a bit to find that stretch. Full breath here. Then a slow motion release, avoiding the want to slingshot it out. Foot touches down to the ground, extended wide. Walk the hands forward like tabletop pose, the legs still out. And then we're just going to send the hips forward and back. Working into the stretch of the inner right hip. So here there's not really any wrong answers. You just go to the range of motion that feels good for you, just flowing from edge to edge. When you find a place that feels good, like it's a nice deep stretch for you in that inner right leg, we'll hold it there for 3 deep breaths. So bring you back up onto hands and knees. Bring that knee in, tabletop pose. Left knee rises, and it's a slow motion side kick. Knee bends, leg lowers, just tapping this knee. Rise, extend, bend, lower. I'm trying to keep my shoulders over my wrist the whole time instead of swaying over to the side to compensate. Okay. Rise, extend, bend, lower. It moves a little. I'm not perfect at it, but attempting. That's where the magic is. In the process, not really in the product. You just got one more like this. One full round. In and lower. And for this next one, we rise, we extend, and then the foot lowers down. Nice. Walk the hands in, bringing them upright. Bring the shoulders over the hips. Yep. Shoulders over the hips. Pinky side edge of the foot pressing into the ground. Arms sweep up overhead. And exhale, bend over to the left. Bottom hand can lower onto the hip, pressing the hip towards the right. It's called gate pose. Gate, G-A-T-E. This whole right side body is expanding, extending, breathing into that side. Inhale brings you back up through center, and then like a cartwheel, bring it down to the other side. So, right shoulder stacked over left shoulder, still kneeling on the right knee, flex through the left foot, and it lifts up to parallel to the ground. One side might feel different than the other. It's all good. It's not good or bad or better or worse. You're just working through it. Taps the foot down and bring the leg back up. So we're going nice and slow No fast twitch muscles here. Tap. We got 2 more. Strengthening this whole left side body. Last one. Nice. Hold it here. Full breath in and out. And bend in the left knee. Hand comes down to grab the foot. And the hips press forward. So the hips pressing forward is a really important detail in that. So you can feel a nice deep stretch in the quad, nice quad stretch. I'm pulling the heel in towards my glute. If you're very flexible, then you might not feel much of a stretch there. Keep pressing the hips forward and slightly kick the foot into the hand to bring some tension. That's you'll find that stretch there. For sure. Just got one more deep breath here. And it's a slow motion release. Leg extends, arm extends, foot comes down, hand comes down, walks you forward. We're going to press forward and back here. Shifting the hips forward and sending the hips back. Stretching into the inside of the left leg. Finding a spot along that trajectory that feels like it would be of most value for you to take 3 deep breaths in. The rest of the body relaxed, just breathing into the inside of the left hip, leg where you feel it. Let every exhale, let something go, some tension, some holding, something that's not serving you. Pressing back into the hands. Knee comes in for our tabletop pose. I guess I need a mat again. You can take a sip of water here. Just gonna set up. 2, go. I'm gonna take a moment here. Just take a sip of water, a sip of tea. I don't know if I emphasize actually how important having water after classes with all the twisting and stretching that we do. There's a lot of schools of yoga thought that say that it releases a bunch of toxins into the body that were trapped. So to flush that out, you need water. I'm definitely not speaking from a medical scientific perspective, but I'm going to share, what was taught to me. Just be really explicit about that. And let's be honest, whether that's the science or not, drinking more water is not a bad idea for most of us. So, it is awesome. Let's bring it up to stand. So, stepping one foot over and then the other. We're just going to come up straight to stand. And do something a little different. We did, I feel like a lot of sun salutations, Surya Namaskar. We've kind of been working on that all week, so just kind of gonna mess with you guys a little bit here, and that routine that we've kind of, I don't want to say fallen into, but we've been working up to, we'll be back to it tomorrow. Instead, let's bring the big toes to touch, and inhale, arms sweep up overhead, fingers interlace, index fingers release for steeple pose. So, it's like I'm holding my own hand, index fingers release. Elbows straighten out to the best of my ability. If you have some chronic neck issues or you get migraines regularly, you probably have some cervical stuff going on. and this starts to like make you like black out, that's the thing, just keep the elbows a little bent. It's okay. It's gonna be okay. Otherwise, if it's in your ability, even if it's uncomfortable, straighten the arms out and bring the biceps back behind the ears. Elongate the spine. That's a little tuck in the lower back, so it's like less Jessica Rabbit sexy and just a little bit of a tuck. So you imagine that natural S curve in the spine elongating out to like a capital I. Deep breath in here. And exhale, bend over to the right, hips press out to the left to counterbalance. So we've been here before in this deep side bend, this like banana stretch, right? Today, I'm going to work on a little balance challenge. So all the weight is pressed into this, or all the effort is pressed into this side bend. Hips pressing out to the side, shoulders pressing out to the side. The chest stays open. There's a tendency for this right shoulder to pull back. Instead, pull it forward. Bring the weight into this outside foot, this outside left foot, and then the right leg lifts up. It's the same muscles we were just using, but see if you can keep the bend in the body. So we're lifting and tapping, lifting and tapping. See if you can get 5 taps in without losing your balance or your breath. Nice. All right, bring it all the way back in. Bring the arms up, both up. Release the arms. Take a deep breath in, side out. That was like really hard or difficult, or you weren't able to do it. Don't worry, it's like literally a banana stretch and then it's like a banana split situation. Like, it's hilarious. It's very ridiculous. And also, why are we doing it? We're building new pathways in the brains, in your brain, as we create these new shapes in the body, these new challenges. Right? Arms sweep up overhead, fingers interlace, then change the interlace. So however you just went to hold your own hand, change the index finger that's on top. See that? So my right finger was on top, and now left finger's on top. Okay. Index fingers release. Elongate the lower back. That's a slight tuck of the hips. Deep breath in. Exhale, bend over to the left. Hips press out to the right. Notice that bottom shoulder. Keep it pressing forward. Keep breathing into the right side body, opening up the space between the ribs. Bring the weight into the right leg. Left leg, that inner leg begins to lift, they can tap down. Lift and tap down. See if you can go for 3 more. Nice. It touches down. Got a last breath here. Bring it all the way up to stand. Release the arms. Give it a little shake, a little bounce, and on. So that whole movement, obviously we're opening the side body through a lateral bend. We're also building the muscles of this outer leg, outer hip area that we've been working on, which is great. And let's just keep shaking. Let's keep shaking before we move on to the next part of class. So here, we're coming into our lymphatic shake. If you can't come to full big jumps, you can just bring up the heels and drop the heels down. The whole idea is to just like jiggle here, just like let whatever shake that can shake, let it go. Just releasing tension in the body. Been doing lots of strength work today, which is awesome, killing it. Ending the week strong, right? It's Friday. So we got that little like, okay, revving up for a little energy for the weekend kind of deal. Shake up the hands, shake the legs, And we got our 10 breaths of joy coming up. Our breath of joy, our 4-part breath. 3 little sips of air in, and 1 big out. And you can yell as loud as you want. Different days might yield different needs. But sometimes if you feel like you don't need it, you'd be surprised. You feel really good. If you're already feeling good, why hold back from feeling better? So the movement looks like this. Do a bend in the knees, and then I sip like 33% of my lung capacity in, arms sweep forward, 33% of my lung capacity in, I sweep out, 33% of my lung capacity in, I sweep forward, I guess that one's 34%, and the exhale is ha, all the way back like chair pose. In, 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 out, ha, in, 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 ha, in, ha, 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 ha. Last one. Ha. Just take a moment after that last round, that 10th ha, that 10th breath of joy. You're gonna bring your hands onto your belly, onto your heart, just let them swing down by the sides. Eyes can close and just turn the gaze inward. Notice what, if anything, was created in that breath practice. Perhaps more heat as your heart rate raised up. More blood circulating, more feeling of aliveness. I just imagine it's kind of like taking a snow globe and shaking it. This is that moment after that you get to just kind of enjoy the little glitter dust settling back down on the village below. Beautiful, nice work. We'll gently blink the eyes open, release the hands down. Bring the feet nice and wide, about the distance of your warrior two. So here's a trick for that. If I were to bend all the way deep into, so I'm going to be like a leg's distance between my feet. So how do I know that? If I were to bring my hips all the way over to this side, this leg is extended out, that's the distance. So say it was here, I would extend it out straight, no, there, or there, same distance, same length legs, okay? Beautiful. Okay, from here, toes can slightly pigeon toe inward, so that's like Tommy Pickles from the Rugrats, like so a little bit in or parallel to one another if that feels better for your ankles. Deep breath in to get tall. That's gonna, we're lengthening the lower back, just that little tuck, little engagement with the lower abs to keep that sway out of the lower back. Arms sweep up overhead. And exhaling, we hinge forward. Arms come down like the letter T. And just like a door frame closing, coming down with a super flat back. When I've gone as far as I can, I'm like, okay, if I went any further, I'd have to round my back. I take a breath here with the shoulder blades squeezed in towards one another. And then I let the arms release down and the back round.
Prasarita Padottanasana. Okay, so my hands are down. You might be pressing the ground away here, or maybe you don't reach the ground. That's okay. You can use blocks to bring you, extend your arms, if you will. If you feel yourself holding the ground away, like pressing the ground away, just bend in the elbows. You don't need to drop right into it. And like bring panic to the body. Just like slowly bend the arms and see how far you can. Maybe you don't even need your arms here. You can give the hips a little sway, side to side. You can grab opposite elbows like ragdoll. So this is okay if you can't reach the ground at all and you don't have any blocks. You can grab opposite elbows, creating a little frame for your head. And just like in our standing forward fold, this is a wide standing forward fold. It's the only difference. Wide ankle standing forward fold. Give the head a rock, yes. And give the head a shake, no. And releasing the arms from the elbows. Let the weight shift towards your toes without lifting the heels. So I'm shifting this way instead of shifting back. So you want to stack the joints so the hips are in the same line as the ankles. Maybe the hands reach out for the calves, the ankles, or if you feel like you have a lot of space, you can even grab the outsides of the feet, like the outsides of the heels, bringing the fingers underneath the toes to get a nice deep grip. And here, I'm pulling my chest towards that wall. So it's like my head's going towards the floor, my chest is going towards that wall. If your head's touching the floor, then your legs are probably just a little bit too far apart. Just heel toe the feet in towards one another. A little bit shorter of a stance, shorter distance between the legs. So I'm using my arm strength and grip strength to bend my elbows out towards the side walls to bring myself deeper into this fold. Okay. This is called Prasarita Padottanasana, standing wide angle fold. We just got one more deep breath here. Then releasing the hands from their grip, bring the hands back through center, bend deep in the knees, and we're bringing it back up to stand. Okay. Heel toe the feet in towards one another. Great. We'll turn to face the front of the mat. Inhale, arms sweep up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift. And exhale, hands down to the ground. And we're going to step it back into our tabletop pose. I'm going to do this without a mat so that you can see. Sorry, my yoga pants are the same color as my yoga mat. Okay, here we go. Tabletop pose. Beautiful. Yep. Bring your right knee forward until it touches your right wrist. Then cross the ankle towards your left hand. So my foot's not going to make it all the way up here. That's okay. That's just the direction. And then wherever it lands, it lands. Left toes tuck under and tiptoe the foot back, back, back until my hip is super close to the ground. More or less I'm trying to get my hips square to the ground, but I'm working them towards the floor, even if they don't touch right away, which they don't, but that's the direction. Right thigh is parallel with the long side of your mat. The hands walk back for a proud pigeon pose. I'm high up on the fingertips. I look back and make sure that my foot's not sickling in. It's going straight back behind me. And just like before, taking a deep breath in, I'm going to lower down in those waves. Belly, chest, head. Lucy, stop. And then roll back up. Heavy head comes up last.
Exhaling, belly, chest, head.
Inhale, rolls you up.
You can do a couple more if that feels good for you. And then when you're ready, it just goes belly, chest, head. And the head comes down to land on stacked fists, on a block, wherever, so that you don't feel like you're doing a push-up. Your upper body can completely relax. For Eko Padottanasana, your pigeon pose. This is your folded pigeon pose. Arms go where serves you. That might be out in front, that might be underneath the head, down by the sides. It's not like there's a more advanced version of the arm placement. You just find out where works best for you. And the head can be straight down. So you want the head to be straight down. I'm just turning so I can talk to you guys and you can hear me and not talking into the carpet. But forehead's on the ground or on the block or on your hands. You can let your eyes close and just let yourself be here. Just notice what you can release, what you can let go of, and notice where you feel the posture. Now one more deep breath here. And pressing into the hands, bring the body back upright. From here we're going into a half frog. So bending into the left knee or coming onto the left knee, the right knee opens straight back behind you, like extended tabletop pose. And then opening it out to the side how we did before, like a fire hydrant, we come to rest down. So imagine you're looking from an up view, from like a sky view. My leg looks like this. So I'm extended back, and then I bring that knee in, out to the side. Left leg is extended long, and the whole body comes down to rest. Maybe the right cheek turns to give the neck a twist to the other direction, but that's really just like decoration. What's important is that we're just stretching out this whole area that we've been, that we just stretched out in our pigeon pose. This is the opposite stretch. Just keeping 90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees. And we just got another deep breath here. Nice, and that leg straight back behind you. Hands come below the shoulders. Press it back up to tabletop pose. Left leg, left knee comes all the way forward until the left knee is touching the left hand. Cross the left ankle over towards the right wrist. So if I were to go there, I wouldn't be able to get that far into, like, that much deeper in. So I just find a space between my wrist and my right hip. That works. Tuck the right toes under and then just scooch, tiptoe the foot back, 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 bringing the hips closer to the ground. And I try to square the hips, so my right hip is as far forward as my left hip is back. I check in that my left thigh is parallel to the long side of the mat. Untuck the right toes, look back, make sure it's not sickling in. Instead, it's going straight back behind you. And walk the hands back for your proud pigeon pose. Shoulder blades squeezed together, deep breath in. And beginning that wave breath connection, exhale, belly, chest, head. Inhale, rolls you back up. Exhale, releases you down. Follow your own breath pace, belly, chest, head. Inhale to rise back up. Got one or two more like this, and when you feel ready to land, same concept of getting as much length in the spine as possible on the descent, and then finding a place for the head to rest. For the arms to rest. Releasing any clenching from the jaw. Let there be space between shoulders and ears. And the forehead can land on the ground. So the head is neutral in this Eko Pada Konasana's folded pigeon pose. And just notice where your mind tends to go in stillness when asked to sit in stillness in a position of discomfort. Likely where your mind goes in this pose is where your mind goes in other moments of life, where we're asked to sit still or expected to sit still in discomfort. Not right or wrong, not good or bad, just something to notice. Got a last deep breath here. I'm pressing the hands into the ground. Press yourself back upright. Bending in the right knee. Left leg gets sent back like extended tabletop pose. And then bend it out to the side like that fire hydrant pose, gently releasing it down, going into our half frog. Once again, from above, my left leg is like 90, 90, 90. Right leg is extended down straight. If you turned your head to have one cheek on the ground, on the other side, maybe doing the opposite cheek, the left cheek on the ground this side so that it evens out. We just got 3 deep breaths here in this frog pose, half frog pose. If you're feeling like you're not feeling much of a stretch, give the hips a little tuck in, right? So like the opposite of a twerk. Hips are pressing in, down, and in. Just like we've been playing with, extending that lower back. And you'll feel that tension is actually going to bring the stretch into that inner left hip.
Hands press into the ground. Bring it back to table. Drop both knees. Drop your hips over to one side. And we're going to come down to reclining. Hugging the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a little rock side to side. And bring the knees all the way over to the right. Left hand lands on top of the right knee. Left arm opens like the letter T, working the shoulder down towards the ground. Supta Matsyendrasana. Reclining spinal twist. If there's something that we can do every day to help support our spinal health, it's just it's twisting. Mindful, purposeful twisting. Even though this is a passive stretch, it can help alleviate a lot of lower back pain. Alleviate or even help prevent, really, if you're not experiencing that. Head comes back up through center, knees come up through center, and we'll drop the knees over to the left. Left hand lands on top of the knees, right arm opens up like the letter T, right shoulder pressing down into the ground. The head looks over to the right side. Head comes back up through center, knees come up through center. Hug the knees in and give yourself a little rock side to side. Full body stretch. And then whatever last movements or preparations you need for your Savasana final relaxation pose. Giving yourself a moment to roll through that, stretch through that. And as we set up for Shavasana final relaxation pose, maybe covering the body with a blanket or putting on socks, as your body temperature will likely lower during that practice, this practice. You might bring a folded blanket or a towel or a pillow below your knees to alleviate any lower back pain. And I'll be sitting up just so I can speak to you and play my singing bowls for you. But you can stay reclining with your legs down the length of the mat, feet at least a foot apart. Legs so relaxed that the feet naturally splay open to the sides. Arms land at least 6 inches from the body, palms face up. A symbol, a mudra of receptivity. Allow yourself to receive the full benefits of your effort here today. Eyes can close if that's comfortable. And we'll start this practice just like how we started the first meditation practice with 3 cleansing breaths. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Audible sigh out.
And breathing can continue just through the nose if that's available. And eyes are gently closed, or they have a soft gaze up towards the ceiling, not looking at anything in particular. Just allow your exhalations to become longer and deeper than your inhalations. Invite space between top and bottom teeth as the jaw hangs heavy and the tongue falls away from the roof of the mouth. And the whole body rests heavy. Any parts of holding, relax. Any parts of tension, release. Follow the breath today. Like waves lapping up to shore. And just imagine a deep blue sky. Large, calm ocean. And then the clouds begin to darken and move in. And the waves begin to rise and crash down as a storm blows in. No matter how dark and crazy and scary the surface of the sea gets, when you dive down deep towards the core, towards the center, the ocean is perfectly calm, still, and undisturbed by the happenings up above. So with our practices of yoga, meditation, mindfulness, we have more access to that ocean floor, to that true self that doesn't have to get hung up on the details or the irritations, though they may happen with some frequency. And just know that no matter how loud, angry, or even violent your surface may be, it doesn't change how deeply deserving of love you are at your core. Allow for everything that did and did not happen in class today. Know that in yoga, practice makes practice. Nothing more, nothing less. And gently invite your inhalations to become longer and deeper than your exhalations. Gently inviting air back into, or movement back into the fingers and the toes. Head can rock side to side, and arms reach up overhead for a full body stretch. And let the knees bend and roll over to whichever side feels natural, landing in a fetal position, fully released and fully supported by the earth below you. Bring to mind any intention or dedication you set for class today. And if that intention inspires you, take it with you off the mat and into the world. Allow it to affect you and the people around you for the rest of your day. Gently, with as little effort as possible, press your hands into the ground to come up to a seated position, just like how we started class. Hands come to meet at heart center in Anjali Mudra. Today we worked on a variety of hip strengthening and opening postures. The first namaste is said silently to yourself, thanking your body for the effort it put into class. And the second namaste is said out loud to one another. Namaste. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me this morning. I hope you found something that serves you from class today. And yeah, so ends the first weekday run of daily morning yoga. So I hope you're feeling good. I'm really loving it. Still figuring out some of the kinks here and there of making certain things work, but I'm feeling more feeling like this is definitely sustainable and I'm loving it. So more to come.